Children, let us continue the chapter circles. Now let us discuss about the angle subtended by an arc of a circle. We have seen that the endpoints of a chord other than diameter of a circle cuts circle into two arcs. One major arc and the other one is the minor arc. If the chord is not a diameter, it divides the circle into two unequal arcs, and the bigger arc is called the major arc and smaller arc is called the minor arc. If you take two equal chords, one arc made by first chord equal to the corresponding arc made by another chord. See here, this is the arc made by the chord AB, and this is the arc made by the chord CD, and here AB and CD are equal. AB equals CD. Therefore, arc AB equals arc CD. They are congruent in the sense that one arc is put on the other without bending or twisting. They superimpose one on the other. They superimpose the other completely. If you keep one arc on the other, the arc superimpose the other arc completely. Means they are coinciding. It means they are congruent arcs. So you can say that equal chords make an equal arc. We can verify that fact by cutting the arc corresponding to the chord CD from the circle along the CD and put it on the corresponding arc made by the equal chord AB. We will find that the arc CD superimpose the arc AB completely. Arc AB and arc AB and arc CD superimpose, they coincide. This shows that equal chords make equal arcs. Equal chords make equal arc, and conversely equal arcs make equal chords. If the chords are equal, arcs made by them are equal. If arcs are equal, the corresponding chords are equal. Means congruent chords makes an equal arc, or the congruent arcs, and congruent arcs make congruent chords. So you can conclude that if two chords of a circle are equal, then their corresponding arcs are congruent, and conversely, if two arcs are congruent, then their corresponding chords are equal. So you write that, what you can write here? If two chords of a circle are equal, if two chords of a circle are equal, then their corresponding arcs are congruent. Then their corresponding arcs are congruent. Conversely, if two arcs are congruent, if two arcs are congruent, then their corresponding chords are equal. Then their corresponding chords are equal. Here, if you take this AB equals CD, then naturally arc AB coincides with arc CD, means they are congruent. So congruent arcs make equal chords. Equal chords make congruent chords. So you can write that if chord AB equals chord CD, then what you can say, arc AB equals arc CD. And if you can write congruent here, if arc AB is congruent to arc CD, then chord AB equals chord CD. That is about the arc and chord. You already learnt about the angle subtended by the chord at the center. Now, what is angle subtended by an arc at the center? That is also same. Here, if you join the points P and Q, you will get a chord, and the angle subtended by the arc is nothing but the angle subtended by the corresponding chord at the center. You know that P and Q are the points on the arc, end points of the arc, and PQ is a arc. PQ is a arc, and again you can have that PQ is also chord. By joining P and Q, you will get a chord. And previously we have studied about the angle made by a line segment at a point. Here, if it is a line, if it is a point, and this at a point R, if the angle forms by the ends of the line segment, then you can say that this angle R, or if you take this PQ, angle PRQ is the angle subtended by the line segment PQ. Similarly, here angle subtended by the arc is nothing but angle subtended by the corresponding chord. Here PQ is the corresponding chord of the arc PQ, and this is the angle made by that PQ. So you can say that angle subtended by an arc at the center is the same as the angle subtended by the corresponding chord at the center. So write angle subtended by an arc at the center is defined to be angle subtended by the corresponding chord, angle subtended by the corresponding chord at the center. Now here PQ is an arc and also PQ is a chord. So you can say that angle POQ is the angle subtended by PQ. So it is also, so you take by chord PQ, and it is also angle subtended by the arc PQ, by an arc PQ. Take, it is angle subtended by the arc, angle subtended by an arc PQ. Now you know that here there are two arcs. This is the major arc and this is the minor arc. And angle subtended by the minor arc, this is the angle POQ, and angle subtended by the major arc is the reflex angle POQ. This is the reflex angle POQ. So you write that angle POQ is the angle by an minor arc and angle reflex angle POQ is the angle by major arc. So here if one arc is there means other arc will be there, minor arc is there means major arc will be there. So you can have the angle and reflex angle. You know that this is the angle POQ and this is the angle reflex angle POQ. Reflex angle POQ, that is by the major arc and this is by the minor arc. And also we can say that congruent arcs or equal arcs of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. If the chord is a diameter, it subtend equal angle at the point on the circle. The angle subtended by the equal arcs are equal. That is also one of the main property here. Now let us discuss about the relation between the angle at the center and angle on the circle made by the same arc. Now you consider the first figure. See the first figure, PQ is an arc. And also see the second figure, here also PQ is an arc. And you see the third figure, here also PQ is an arc. Now in the first figure, PQ is a minor arc. And in the second figure, you know that here the PQ is a chord which is a diameter which passes through the center. So the PQ is a semicircle. And in the third figure, PQ is a major arc here. It is a major arc. And also you can have the major arc here. And this is also semicircle. And this is a minor arc. Now let us observe the angles made by the arc at the center and at a point on the circle. That is, it is a point, any point on the remaining part of the circle other than the center. And let us find the relation between them. Here you can observe that if you measure them, this angle is half of the angle POQ. And in this case also, this angle is twice of this, means this angle is half of this angle. Angle A is half of angle POQ. Here also angle A is half of angle POQ. Here also angle A is half of angle reflex angle POQ. That you can do the construction and you can draw the circle and also draw the angle at the center and angle at a point on the other part of the circle other than the center. Then what you can get here, that is angle POQ equals, write that angle POQ equals angle twice angle PAQ. Angle POQ equals angle twice angle PAQ. So you can conclude that angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it at any point on the remaining part of the circle. So you write that the angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it on the remaining part of the circle. Now here you observe this is a arc PQ and this is the angle in the major segment. And if you measure, you will get this is less than 90 degree. Angle PAQ is less than 90 degree. And here if you measure, you will get 90 degree. And also you can here, what is the measurement of the angle? Measurement of the angle POQ is 180 degree as it is a straight line. Then half of this 180 degree means you will get 90 degree. So angle PAQ equals 90 degree. And here this is the reflex angle more than 180 degree. If it is more than 180 degree means angle PAQ is more than half of 180 means half of 180 is 90. So angle in the major segment is acute angle. Angle in the semicircle is right angle. And angle in the minor segment is obtuse angle. So let us write angle in the and also you take some points. Angle in the major segment is acute angle. Angle in the semicircle is right angle, that is 90 degree. Right angle. And angle in the minor segment is obtuse angle, that is greater than 90 degree. So what you got here? Here you got that angle made by the same arc at the center is double the angle made by that arc at the other part of the circle, that is at any point on the other part of the circle. That is angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference or at the point on the circle. And angle in the major segment is less than 90 degree, that is acute angle. Angle in the semicircle is equals to 90 degree, that is right angle. And angle in the minor segment is greater than 90 degree, that is obtuse angle. Then what about the angles in the same segment? Now you consider the arc PQ. PQ is an arc and angle POQ is the angle at the center, and A and C are the points on the other part of the circle, that is other than center. And here you can have angle at A and angle C, that is made by the same arc PQ. Now you know that angle A is also half of angle POQ. Angle C also half of angle POQ. That is, angle A is nothing but angle PAQ equals half angle POQ. And also angle C equals half angle POQ. Therefore, you can say that A equals angle C. Angle A equals angle C. Angle A means which angle it is? Angle PAQ. And angle C means angle PCQ. That is, angle PAQ is equals to angle PCQ. Similarly, you can draw any numbers of angles here, and all are having same measurement. So you can draw any number of angles in this segment made by this arc. All are of same length, same measurement. Therefore, you can conclude that angles in the same segment are equal. Whatever the angles in the same segment, angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. So you write that angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. Angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. Now about cyclic quadrilateral. Now what is quadrilateral? Quadrilateral is a plane figure bounded by 4 non-collinear line segments. But here, what is cyclic quadrilateral? It is a special type of quadrilateral. So how you can define the cyclic quadrilateral? Quadrilateral whose all 4 vertices lie on a circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. See the figure here. ABCD is a quadrilateral. All the 4 vertices of this quadrilateral ABCD lie on the circle. So it is called cyclic quadrilateral. So write that. What is cyclic quadrilateral? A quadrilateral whose all 4 vertices are lie on a circle. A quadrilateral whose all 4 vertices lie on a circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. So in the figure, ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Cyclic quadrilateral because its all 4 vertices lie on the circle. Now you do one activity. Draw several cyclic quadrilateral of different sides and name each of these as ABCD, and measure the opposite angles of each quadrilateral and write the measurement and observe what will you find here. That is, you can verify that the sum of the opposite angles of the cyclic quadrilateral will be equal to 180 degree. That is, what you are going to get here, angle A plus angle C equals 180 degree, and angle B plus angle D equals 180 degree. So if the sum of two angles is equals to 180 degree, then they are called supplementary angles. So the sum of either pair of opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree, means they are supplementary. So that is one of the special property of the cyclic quadrilateral. If the sum of a pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180 degree, the quadrilateral is cyclic. The opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary, means that sum is 180 degree. If the opposite angles are supplementary, then that quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral. So you write that sum of opposite either pair, you write sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. 180 degree, or also you can say in the converse, you can say conversely, if the sum of a pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180 degree, the quadrilateral is cyclic. The quadrilateral is cyclic. So what you can say, sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. If the sum of a pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180 degree, the quadrilateral is cyclic. Now let us glance the summary of this chapter. So what are the points to be remembered here? First one is, you take a circle is the collection of all points in a plane which are equidistant from a fixed point. In the plane. So it gives the definition of the circle. And equal chords of a circle or of congruent circle. Equal chords of a circle or equal chords of congruent circle subtend equal angles at the center. Third point, if the angles subtended by two chords of a circle at the center are equal, or if the angles subtended by two chords of congruent circles at the center are equal, the chords are equal. Then the fourth point, the perpendicular from the center of a circle to a chord bisect the chord. The perpendicular from the center of a circle to a chord bisect the chord. Fifth point, the line drawn through the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to the chord. And the sixth point, there is one and only one circle pass through three non-collinear points. There is one and only one circle pass through passing through 3 non-collinear points. And 7th point, equal chords of a circle are equidistant from the center, or equal chords of a congruent circles are equidistant from the corresponding centers. And point number 8, chords equidistant from the center of a circle are equal, or chords equidistant from the corresponding centers of congruent circles are equal. Then the 9th point, if two arcs of a circle are congruent, then their corresponding chords are equal, and conversely, if two chords of circle are equal, then corresponding arcs are equal or congruent, you can write. Next, 10th point, congruent arcs of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Congruent arcs subtend equal angle at the center. 11th point, the angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it at any point on the remaining part of the circle. Angle subtended by an arc at the center. Angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it at any other point on the remaining part of the circle. Next is 12th point. Angles in the same segment of a circle are equal, and angle in the semicircle is right angle. In the 14th point, if a line segment joining 2 points subtend equal angles at 2 other points lying on the same side of the line containing the line segment, the 4 points lie on a circle. That is about the line segment joining 2 points subtend equal angles at 2 other points lying on the same side of the line containing the line segment. The 4 points lie on the circle. Next, 15th, the sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. If the sum of pairs of opposite angles of quadrilateral is 180 degree, the quadrilateral is cyclic.